Hello, my friends. This is Stephanie, your literary hype woman, and September is already over. So it's time to break down the books that I read this month and what I thought about them. So let's go. The first book that I read in September was Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake, and in case you didn't see the interview with author Maisie Eddings, I will just sum it up. I loved it. I loved it so much. Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake is about a girl who gets accidentally pregnant by an Australian man, and they decide to co-parent platonically. But it doesn't really go that way. Lizzie is so much more than that. She's a baker with ADHD, and she's got a lot of family struggles in there, and it was so beautifully done. Like, Maisie has a skill. I just love her books so far, and I'm very excited to continue on reading Maisie's upcoming books, which she has many. She's got 4 books coming for 4. So stick around for more on Maisie. But Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake, 5 stars. The first book I read in September that was actually on the TBR game was Radical Love. I did the audiobook just because I really love Zachary Levi, and any excuse to listen to his voice is good by me. So I listened to the audiobook just to hear him tell his story. I knew a little bit about it going into it because I'd heard him talk about it on the Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, but to get that in-depth feeling of like what he went through as a child and where he was and his suicidal thoughts, like it's a very emotional journey, and it's one that many people really need to read and understand. Like, he's such a gregarious, like, outgoing personality, but that can often mask so much. So it's a really important book for people to read, and just because you have it all doesn't mean that everything is okay. Absolutely fantastic book. 5 stars for Zachary Levi's Radical Love. I also read Soulmates by Susan Lee. I won't go too much into detail since I did do a vlog on this one as I was reading it, my very first vlog for Literary Hype. Soulmates, 5 stars. It is a coming-of-age romance with a K-drama star. So it's so cute and sweet and fun. I just love it. 5 stars for Soulmates by Susan Lee. I am a redhead who grew up in the early 90s, so obviously I had to read Jodie Benson's memoir, Part of Your World. She was the voice of Ariel, the Little Mermaid, so I had that little kind of connection for the redheadedness. I've also had the chance to see her speak and sing a little bit, so I was very excited to get kind of more in depth on her story. I really enjoyed it. It is more of a faith-based book, so if that's not your thing, just be aware of that if you're curious about her story. She was very open and honest and transparent, which I really appreciated, and talked about things that a lot of people don't really talk about, / they're only now becoming more part of our conversation and as a society, things like miscarriage and marital struggles and stuff like that. So for Jodie Benson's Part of My World, 4 stars. I also read Pint of Contention by Susanna Nix this month. It was her 3rd installment in the King Family Creamery series, which is a spin-off of another series, and this book particularly spins off into another series, so there's a lot going on with storylines that connect in her books, but it does work as a standalone. It follows Ryan, the very tall Highland Games participant / EMT, who is kind of stepson of the creamery owner dude, and Maggie, who's come in to kind of help fix the business. So he's kind of like this big teddy bear, and she's a boss babe, and I love both of them, but Maggie I really appreciate. She's just like no nonsense. So with that romance, it was a very fun one, and I gave it 4 stars. Taking a little bit of a content turn, I read The Connected Leader by Karen Joy Hardwick. It's about leadership, obviously, and like 7 strategies to help you connect better with others, to help inspire them. So this is more of a kind of businessy personal growth book. There's a lot of good information there. Do have a lot of tabs. So it'll be something to kind of think about more as we go. So 3.5 stars for The Connected Leader. And we've got a new book from Jasmine Guillory. It's called Drunk on Love, and it follows a winery owner and her man that she hooks up with very on in the book happens to be the new employee her brother hired without consulting her. So it's a very sticky situation, um, but it's kind of entertaining of like the how they're gonna handle this drama that happens on the page. But it's a great story. I love Jasmine Guillory. It's kind of got a same writing vibe as Wedding Date. So if you love that series, you'll probably love this as well. So 4 stars for Drunk on Love by Jasmine Guillory. ACOTAR. Court of Thorns and Roses, Sarah J. Maas. I finally did it. I finally read a Sarah J. Maas book. I have joined the book talk, bookstagram, booktube craziness that is loving this book. I have some questions. I'm told I need to hold my tongue until I read more of the books. Mainly, why do you not go for Lucian? He's right there. Lucian is so much better than Tamlin. I said what I said. I'm told I might change my opinion later on, but I said what I said for now. The story is very entertaining, very well written and engaging. Well, specifically with well written, it is very the world. You can really kind of imagine it. It's very detailed in some of the descriptions. So yeah, I read this as my buddy read after many people tried to talk me into it. So in case you haven't seen my October TBR video, I'm carrying on with the series. I gotta keep going. So 4 stars for A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I also picked up Confidently You by Joyce Meyer. It is a very small book that kind of talks about like different ways to help you build more confidence. I picked it up for a work project, so it's kind of reading it more with that in mind than like actually reviewing the book, but it was still a lot of good information, and I'm giving it 4 stars. Another book that I did pick up because of my TBR game was The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. I was not expecting to enjoy this as much as I did. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even remember what the prompt was that I got that led me to picking The Diamond Eye. Probably historical fiction or something like that. I don't know. But this book. It is about a woman who was a sniper for the Soviet Union during World War II. She is a real person who, and like she really did come to the US and like sweep everybody off their feet and make friends with Eleanor Roosevelt. She is credited with 309 kills during World War II. I just love this book so much. Like, she is a boss chick. And, like, even in all the struggles that she faced, like, she knew her worth. And, like, it's just so good. I do appreciate that the end of the book, that Kate Quinn kind of talks about what was real for Mila and what she kind of tweaked a bit for the sake of the story. It is a pretty decent sized author's note because there are a lot of changes to Mila's story, including like her ex-husband. She didn't really say much of what happened in real life, but in The Diamond Eye, the ex-husband is a ongoing pain in her side. But yeah, this definitely did spark me to look up more about Ludmila. It's such a good book. I loved it so much. 5 stars for The Diamond Eye. The final book that I finished in September was Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. It is a classic, and as a redhead, like growing up, she was my favorite. So I read this a lot as a kid. Now as an adult reading it, I really don't know if I have my own personality or if I just adopted Anne's as a child and just rolled with it, and that's now who y'all get. There's a lot of similarities between me and Anne. Also, I'm pretty sure she has undiagnosed ADHD. Like, that's just it. Take it as a hot take or take it as, yeah, that makes sense. Whatever, it's up to you. But that's what I think about Anne of Green Gables. The writing, there's a lot of words that end in ly, and I didn't notice that as a child, but now it kind of like sticks out to me as a little annoying. So I gave it 4 stars this time. if you're keeping track of what I actually read in a month compared to what the TBR game told me to read, you'll probably notice I didn't do as well this time. I read a lot of books, but they weren't on the list. I did not get to The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I did not get to The Only Woman in the Room by Marie Benedict. And I got about 3/4 of the way through Love in Other Words, which was the buddy read book of the month. I do plan to finish it. I am enjoying it immensely. I just ran out of time. So that's just another book for October. Lord help me. October is a hard month for the TBR game, so this is going to be really interesting. So stick around for the October wrap-up video. It's going to be a wild ride. But The Summer I Turned Pretty and The Only Woman in the Room are eligible to be future picks for the TBR game, so we'll see what happens. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It really does help things out. And until next time, thanks for watching.